time.
I know, that's what I mean.
We go by the date.
That was a little fast.
It's a little fast.
Uh-huh.
Jim, are you gonna announce the?
Call to order this meeting of the Escanaba City Council, April 17th, 2025. Mr. Demay, please call roll.
Councilmember Moore? Councilmember Boshaw?
Here.
Councilmember DeBoer?
Here.
Councilmember Floth? Here. Mayor Amel?
Here.
Motion to excuse the absence of Ms. Moore.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, seeking approval and/or corrections to the minutes of the regular meeting of April 3rd, 2025.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, seeking approval and/or corrections to the minutes of the special meeting for the budget on April 7th, 2025.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll give you one more try at this time. At this time, seeking approval and/or corrections to the minutes of the special meeting for the budget on April 8th, 2025.
I'll move approval.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, seeking approval and/or adjustments to the current agenda as written.
Approved. Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, is there any conflict of interest needing to be declared by members of council pertaining to items on the agenda? None. At this time, we will hear brief public comments pertaining to items on the agenda. If you wish to make a comment, please approach the podium, state your name and place of residence, keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Hearing none. We currently have no public hearing scheduled. We currently have no unfinished business on the docket. Moving on to new business. Item number 1, setting of public hearing fiscal year 2025-26 budget for May 1st, 2025.
Administration is requesting City Council set May 1st, 2025 as the fourth public hearing on the proposed 25-26 city fiscal year budget.
Motion to approve.
Support. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. New business item number 2, approval, wastewater treatment plant solids handling evaluation, Fishbeck wastewater.
Administration is requesting City Council approval to retain the services of Fishbeck of Grand Rapids, Michigan with regard to the City of Escanaba wastewater department solids handling evaluation in an amount not to exceed $73,500. We've spent quite a bit of time in our budget session talking about biosolids, and this dovetails with the maximum allowable headworks loading that Fishbeck is also doing with us. And the proposal from Fishbeck, I think the part that's easiest to understand for what really is going on here is a chart that talks about basically what we're currently doing with anaerobic digestion. There's a number of different ways to run our plant. They talk about aerobic digestion, landfill disposal being dewatering, or maybe dewatering with a dryer, maybe a press. We spent a lot of time talking about how our sludge site, we're kind of at the end of its life. We would consider doing more land application, maybe on some other land, since it kind of is a very affordable way to do it. But our worry is the contaminants and the biosolids. So what this study would do, along with the mall, is tell us, here are options to handle your sludge. This is what it would cost under each option. Maybe we continue to go to the landfill. Maybe we go to the landfill with some drying or pressing. Maybe we land apply. Many alternatives. But before we decide to just keep dumping it there, at the landfill at a pretty high cost, or before we decide to invest quite a bit of money in any equipment as part of the treatment, we really need to know what are we treating, how does it need to be treated, and what's it going to cost. Mr. Lampy can elaborate a little bit further, but I think that's the simplest way to really look at it.
Mr. Lampy, are they also going to look into and do an evaluation on the leaching that's taking place also to investigate that on top of the biosolids, or?
Yeah, part of the study is to look at the leachate. As Faith had, we had a complaint of odors there today. I spent an hour or two with customers on that stretch, and no blaming on anybody. It's just that there's a lot of volatiles coming off of that, and it's a horrible smell throughout that entire stretch. And we just need to figure out what we need to do, and that could be pre-treatment on that, or like we're doing now, we're just diluting it. We're running water into it to try and flush it up faster, so those volatiles don't come off and annoy people. It's a horrible smell.
Yep, right, agreed. I agree with you there. I just didn't know if Fishbelt will do that part of analysis. Will they also have access to the landfill to do a thorough investigation?
I don't know that we'll gain access to the landfill, perhaps, but that's not really so much part of the study because I don't have any say in what's going on in the landfill. Once when it hits our section, we can deal with it.
Well, I agree with you. I just thought if we could go and hopefully reach out to the county to assist us, since it's coming mostly, the source, it seems to be coming, my own conclusion, is that it seems to be coming strongly from that landfill. And I just want to get a thorough analysis to understand where the problem lies.
I spoke to Jim, and we plan on reaching out and building a partnership per se to solve this problem. I've got several ideas. Fishback will narrow them up and give us some ideas, and I hope we can work in a cooperative manner with the county to solve this problem.
I hope so too. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Jeff, I know the DEQ and landfill, they don't like free liquids and, solid waste, but drying seems to me very energy intensive, costly. Is there any kind of industrial centrifuge, something like a washer where you could spin it to get the water out of it and quickly?
A year and a half ago, we went to Marinette to look at their system, and they start that out with the centrifuge, and then they go through a press, a screw press, and then through the drying oven. And every year they come up with something different. So before we go spend $6 or $7 million, I think it's imperative that we learn our options and come back and go down the correct route. That centrifuge is definitely an option to initially dewater, and then we want to get it as dry as possible if we're going to tip it.
Sure. But 73,000, how long is this study going to take? A week?
No, this study,
That was my question.
12 months.
I don't know what
I believe it's 12 months.
12 months, it's
Okay.
7.
It's all of 12 months because the mall, all the activity you have in the streets, I'm pumping the brakes on the analytical work in the collection system because all the lining's going to reduce VOCs, and all the cleaning we're doing and televising is going to flush the whole system. I feel that by January or February, we should get an undisturbed system, that we should get a representative sample in the collection system to give us true analytical data to work off of.
All right, thank you.
So my question is, did we get any other bids in regards to this?
So, say again, bids?
Yeah, for this?
No, Fishbeck is a well-referred firm. They are doing our mall, and because of the analytical work of the mall, coincides with all the biosolids, I asked them to give us a proposal to do this work.
Should we put in a bid out? I get it that they're there and they're doing work.
Generally with engineering, financial services, there's a number of different things we don't have to. And the reason you don't have to is you try to go with somebody who it's their specialty, or there might be some overlap with work they're already doing. And that was the big thing here, was the overlap with the mall. And Fishbeck being a pretty respected firm in this field.
All right, thank you.
Now, we could do RFPs, and I'll be honest with you, we could. But it would take a lot of my time and resources, of which I don't have a lot to spare nowadays.
I guess, could you just do a quick synopsis to the public explaining what the benefit of doing this study will be?
The benefit of this study will look at our aging digesters. They need extensive work. If we go down one route, we may not even need a boiler to heat the digesters. We may go completely away from digestion and just compacting raw sewage and saving the cost of all the work of the digesters. Walking through the digesters to do a boiler, we may have well over $1 million in electrical work that we have to do just to get permitted for our boiler. I don't think the digesters, the building's like a 1952 addition, and all of that infrastructure is old, all of it's aging, and all of the electrical needs to be replaced if we were to go for a permit. On top of that, I've told you extensively about the biosolids problem, land application. The PFAS is adding more problems. I have a lot of ideas and possibilities. I need a reputable firm to look at those, reach out to other places, and provide us with educated information rather than just relying on myself. I need a trusted source to give us advice on where we should start spending our money tomorrow.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve.
I'll support.
Further discussion on this item? Mr. Demay, please call roll.
Councilmember Dubourg.
Yes.
Councilmember Boissau.
Yes.
Councilmember Flaw.
Yes.
Mayor Hamel.
Yes. New business, item number 3, approval, annual chemical bids, water, wastewater.
This is our annual list of chemical bids. I think the last year we approved them as a batch, but it's, I don't know, Jeff, if you want to talk about prices, what you expected, what you didn't expect, but all the same chemicals that we've bought in the last several years.
With the addition of sodium hypochlorite, because we're switching from gas to liquid chloride.
I'm just asking, I know it's not on here, but how much of an increase from last year?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you that right now.
Sure. Well, it's needed, right, in the end. Motion to approve.
Support.
Further discussion on this item?
Question, the first one, hydrofluorosilicic acid,
Hydrofluoric acid,
fluoride?
fluoride.
What's the latest from the feds on that? Is it optional yet, or no?
It is not necessarily, well, it might be optional, but not for us. I believe that it was a vote of the people in 52. We are mandated because of the vote of the people to continue feeding it. If someone was to run a petition to get it back to a vote, the people could elect to vote to stop feeding.
Really? That's interesting. I had never heard that. If you could, send us some information. I'm sure it's going to come to a head sooner or later.
And I know Eagle put out a statement in support of fluoride. There's talks that EPA is going to put out their own that would be on the other side of it. So, yeah, we'll get you what we have on a past vote with this.
Thank you.
Further discussion on this item? We will approve all in one motion?
Sure.
Comfortable with that?
It's fine.
Okay, Mr. Demay, please call roll.
Councilmember Dubourg.
Aye.
Councilmember Flaw.
Yes.
Councilmember Boissau.
Yes.
Mayor Hamel.
Yes.
Thank you.
New business, item number 4, approval, amendment to engineering agreement, manager.
Administration is requesting City Council approval of an amendment to the engineering agreement with WSP for services related to the FEMA grant application. If a grant is awarded, it is anticipated an additional $8,200 is needed to coordinate responses to additional FEMA questions. So this is all related to our stormwater project behind the old jail, coming up several blocks on First Avenue North. We've advanced in the process. We're feeling very good about this grant coming our way. I think it was several months ago, we came asking for, I think it was just over $20,000 for assistance with the application. The FEMA questions and process is heavily involved, more than I would say most that we've dealt with. WSP has been a really big part of getting us where we need to be here. So we feel we're right kind of at the finish line as long as we get a couple more responses in. Hypothetically, we get the green light in the coming months. Then there's going to be some additional documents that need to be provided to FEMA, and possibly the Army Corps. We're working on trying to figure out right now what permit's going to be needed for the work, but we're feeling very optimistic that we might get close to a $3 million grant for all this work.
I'll move approval.
One second.
Further discussion on this item? Mr. May, please call roll.
Councilmember Boschwa.
Yes.
Councilmember Dubois.
Yes.
Councilmember Floth.
Yes.
Mayor Hamel.
Yes. Moving on to appointments. Downtown Development Authority, appointed by manager with council approval. The following individuals' first term will expire on April 21st. They both wish to be reappointed to their second term on the Downtown Development Authority, Peggy Berg and Sue Parker.
Did we have any other applicants or they're just looking to be renewed?
Just looking to be renewed.
Okay, so we had no other applicants? Okay, then no problem.
Please make those appointments. However, you could apply for the vacancy on the Historic Preservation Commission. You could apply for one of the two vacancies on the Planning Commission. You could apply for the one vacancy on the Recreation Advisory Board, or one of the two alternate vacancies on the Zoning Board of Appeals. Moving on to board, commission, and committee reports.
The Electrical Advisory Committee had their quarterly meeting last week. It was the standard departmental updates, solar project, tree trimming, that sort of thing. And the Planning Commission meeting was canceled due to a lack of quorum.
Thank you. 2-0. Very good. Moving on to general public comment. If you wish to make a comment, please approach the podium, state your name and place of residence. Moving on to the fancy folder. On April 25th of this year, it will be Arbor Day. So today we will read the Arbor Day proclamation because we are a Tree City, USA. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Mark Amel, Mayor of the City of Escanaba, do hereby proclaim April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the City of Escanaba. And I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Moving on to announcements.
Just want to wish everyone a blessed Easter.
Very nice, Mr. McNeil.
We're looking at putting out a press release soon before our next council meeting. So it'll be May 1st at 5 o'clock. We're going to have a sort of a town hall presentation just on utilities, rates. We're going to go through a presentation on the asset management plan that shows kind of an analysis of the whole system and what costs we're facing over the next several decades. So good time to ask questions and hear, really what we're looking at.
I have one. So there's going to be a Workers' Memorial Day service on April 28th at 4 PM at Ludington Park at the monument here. So hope you guys can
At the
attend.
monument on the municipal dock.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Yes.
I just want everybody to go to the same place. It's a big park, which we are fortunate to have. Further announcements? Seeking motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.